enabled.
Kotak Mutual Fund presents Invest Mentor in association with Network 18.
Hello and welcome to this special show. Kotak Mutual Fund presents Invest Mentor in association with Network 18, an investor education initiative by Kotak Mahindra Mutual Fund. I'm Surabhi Upadhyay. Now, mutual funds are a well-diversified, simple way of investing your money in active trading markets. They are an ideal investment vehicle for those who do not have the expertise to invest directly in stocks or in bonds. So, how do you take your first steps in the world of MF investing? Well, this week we will put the spotlight on the equity mutual fund space. How to select the right fund, how to manage your own risk appetite, how to match the right fund with your risk appetite, and how to, of course, keep your portfolio goals in mind as you go about selecting your preferred mutual funds. To discuss this and more, we have today with us Harsha Upadhyay, President and Chief Investment Officer, Equity at Kotak Mahindra Asset Management Company, as well as Neeraj Choksi, co-founder and promoter of the NJ Group. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining in on this interesting conversation. So, I guess over the past couple of years, if there's one thing that retail investors have learned, it is the idea of mutual funds, at least on the equity side. Harsha, you have been managing sort of people's money for so many years, your entire fraternity out there. What would be the first thoughts that you would perhaps want to share as you look at the reflection, the experience of the past, perhaps 2 odd decades?
I think clearly the retail penetration over the last two decades has gone up significantly. I think we have seen a significant investment behavior change as well. Compared to the average holding period, which was there 2 decades back, and if you compare that with what is the average holding period today, I think clearly there has been an increase, which shows that people have understood that equities are for long-term investment, and hence the focus has shifted towards keeping it for a longer investment horizon. And also, if you look at SIP, that is a systematic investment plan, which is about investing on a regular basis in a disciplined way, that has also picked up quite a bit in the recent past. If you look at the recent numbers, the monthly input values of SIPs from the retail fraternity is more than 8,000 crores. So clearly, there has been a trend that is moving towards disciplined investments and also long-term focus. I think that's what is required to make money in equities over a long period of time. And fortunately, those investors who have been with the mutual fund industry have learned this and are following this.
Mr. Choksi, you tell us, you are associated with the group, you have your companies where mutual fund distribution is something that you've overseen for many, many years. You've been part of the regulatory process and conversations as well. So what is your first take? Where does the retail investor stand when it comes to equity funds in this country today?
Thank you, first of all. And as Harsha rightly said, I continue to believe that the retail investors who have already participated, we see a lot of maturity in them. One of the reasons which probably is that the SIP inflows, the kind of SIP inflows which we are getting is already increasing. Even when the markets are at a very high level, the net equity flows slightly are negative this year, but the SIP inflows have been positive. So I think the maturity level is there, but there is a lot more to do in terms of penetrating it, because India is a large country. Still, a lot of investors are putting money in fixed deposits. A lot of money are putting in traditional investments. Now, to reach to these investors, I think there is a need of a strong distribution, and we have to explain them in a very simple way. Now, mutual fund has been accepted well. That is very, very clear. But still, it is not something which an investor will just come and write a check. One will have to go and explain that, this is an SIP, this is a long-term story, this is how in India the mutual funds have performed. We have a history now of more than 25 years. So I think once that happens, and it has already started happening, then definitely I think the retail investors will take more advantage of the mutual funds, the equity mutual funds, and get advantage of long-term returns.
Okay, fair point. Harsha, let me take that argument to you. So that's the first question, right? Why equity mutual funds? Because as Mr. Choksi is saying, it's still not perhaps the first preference. The inclination still would be to go park your money in the bank, in the savings account or in the fixed deposit. And then one starts thinking about why equity funds. So what would you say to a lot of the first-time investors out there?
Surabhi, for that, one needs to understand inflation. For example, anything that you buy today, let's assume that it is available at 100 rupees. Next year, it is going to be available at 100 plus inflation. Let's say, assuming a 5% inflation rate, it's going to be available at 105. Similarly, year after year, the cost of a particular object that you are trying to buy or you want to consume is likely to go up because of the inflation. So there are very few asset classes in the world which can give inflation adjusted and better returns, that is better returns over inflation on a consistent basis over a long period of time. And equities have demonstrated that they can give better inflation adjusted returns. But it is also true that unlike fixed income, you won't get a linear return in equities. There will be ups and downs, there will be panic situations, there will be euphoria in the market. But if you are a long-term investor and if you are investing in right businesses at right valuations, better than inflation returns. So that's the concept. So that's why we tell investors to focus on inflation and also focus on disciplined long-term investing to beat that inflation.
Yeah, all right. That's a valid point. So, Mr. Choksi, then therefore, what is the recommendation that you give to investors? As Harsha mentioned that there will be volatility in the short term. So is there a set period? I mean, for instance, if you can't stay put for 3 years, don't invest in mutual funds. Or if you can't stay for 5 years, is there a timeline that you advise people to keep in mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Generally, the longer the period, it is better. That is what we tell. But at least a 5-year period is important because within a span of 5 years, the chances of losing capital is extremely low. And again, we generally try first-time investors to put money in SIPs. So SIP automatically is giving a benefit of rupee cost averaging because they're investing at all the levels and that reduces the risk. So basically, I think first and foremost thing is to explain them, as Harsha very rightly said, that inflation is eating away your purchasing power. And by putting money in a bank deposit or in other traditional investments, you are not actually creating any wealth, right? You are just retaining your purchasing power. And another second thing is that India is a country where we have a lot of young population and young population are spending. Of course, that is good for the economy, but basically we'll also have to explain them that small savings also make a big difference over long periods of time. Yeah. Because in the power of compounding, the most effective exponential factor is N, which is the number of years. And the earlier you start investing, the more number of years you have to compound your returns. And that is, I think, something which we try to explain, that even if there is a small investment, make a habit of investing.
The first thing is to know the kind of fund that you want to be in. And there are several categories: large cap, mid cap, small cap. Now there is something called flexi cap. So it can be slightly daunting for someone who's entering in for the first time. So Harsha, sort of what's the stepping stone? How does one begin?
Just like any other profession, you also need to take professional inputs while making your investments, managing your risk, etc. So there is no one model or one formula that is applicable to all kinds of investors. Having said that, the most conservative investors should be looking at large cap equity mutual funds, simply because large cap companies are the ones which have had a very good track record. Those brands are known to everyone. They generally come with lesser volatility in the business, given that they have very good competitive position. So I think the first time investors can focus on blue chip large cap names, which are part of the large cap funds. And as the risk appetite increases, one can move forward. The other segments would have different proportion of large caps, mid caps, and small caps. So it could be a large and mid category. It could be a flexi cap category where the portfolio manager and the fund house will have ability to move between various market caps in terms of allocation. Or if there is even more aggressiveness in terms of investment approach, one could also look at a mid-cap strategy or a small-cap strategy.
Sure.
Apart from these, you also have thematic funds, thematic equity funds, which generally invest in a particular theme. It could be, let's say, a consumption theme or an infrastructure theme. So it need not be a diversified basket of equity stocks in that portfolio, but it will generally focus on a particular investment theme. So that's another set of thematic equity funds that one can look at. But usually the risk in thematic equity funds is more than what you have in diversified equity funds, because there is going to be a tilt towards a particular investment theme. So I would advise that only informed investors should take that route, and most of the regular investors should start with large caps and slowly move towards other categories of equity funds.
Okay, so that's good advice to get things going. We will take a break on that note, and then we delve a little deeper into some of these types of funds that Harsha spoke about, and also talk about risk. It's all about managing risk, and it's also about balancing out your portfolio. So that conversation coming up after the break.
Kotak Mutual Fund presents Invest Mentor in association with Network 18. Kotak Mutual Fund presents Invest Mentor in association with Network 18.
Welcome back to the Invest Mentor series. We're in conversation with Harsha Upadhyay of Kotak Mutual Fund, as well as Neeraj Choksi of the NJ Group. Now, Mr. Choksi, this is a question to you. I guess for a lot of people, it becomes difficult to understand where to allocate money because all you want to do is to be in the best performing fund. So how do you look at some of the other parameters, your own goals, the holding period, your own risk appetite? How should one sort of build it all together?
Yeah, I think diversification is the only free lunch, right? So it is very important to diversify and rebalance your portfolio across various asset classes on a regular basis. And to create an asset allocation model for investors, I think risk profiling is very important. Understanding the investor's behavior is very important. And many a times, even the risk profiling questionnaire, the answers are very much dependent on the current market scenario. So sometimes it goes wrong. So it is the ability of the distributor to understand the psyche of the investor. See, there are two elements to risk. One is the requirement. Requirement is basically for your long-term needs. If you want to, buy a house, or you want to plan for your retirement or for your kids' education, and so forth. What is the kind of savings one requires? And what is the kind of return is required to achieve those goals? That is one way of looking at the asset allocation. The other way of looking at the asset allocation is the ability of one to take risk. Whether a person is getting, tolerant to a 20% downside, a 15% downside, or a 30% downside. Now, to test that, it is more of an art rather than just filling a questionnaire. That is what we feel, and that is where the role of a distributor is very important. And it is an ongoing process where one will have to take through that pain, because that pain will certainly come when market corrects. It doesn't look back. It just starts falling. But whenever you do asset allocation, at least generally we have seen that the equity flows and the market returns are directly proportional. So during those periods, if the distributor or the advisor is smart enough to ensure that the allocation of the investor happens based on an asset allocation and is able to manage or rebalance that asset allocation at a regular interval, say once in a half year or once in a year, I think that is a fair way of ensuring that an investor doesn't take irrational decision. Because that is where the investors lose money. The market always gives return, but generally we have seen the investors don't make return. The reason for that is the irrationality of behavior, because investors invest generally when the market are at its peak, and they would want to exit when the markets are falling. So I think this is something which is an important role which a distributor or an advisor brings to the table.
Absolutely. I think, and that's why Harsha said that the first step is to get an advisor, especially if you're new to the world of equities, then you want someone whom you can sort of trust, someone who can handhold you through the whole process. Now, there's something else to keep in mind. Harsha told us about several categories like mid-cap, large-cap, thematic. But beyond that, there is the whole question of whether a human being, an active fund manager, is going to manage this fund, or whether the fund will be sort of an automatic thing which just follows a preset index. That index could be the Nifty, it could be the Sensex, it could be any of the equity market indices. So Harsha, this is the question. The whole concept of passive investing is relatively new to India. How should one look at both sides, active and passive?
Surabhi, passive investing is nothing but replicating an index. So it is very easy to understand. You exactly know what is happening to your portfolio because your portfolio is replicating a particular index. Let's say it could be Nifty, Sensex, or any other index. And also the costs of passive investing are lower than active investing because there is no research required, there is no fund management activity required beyond replicating a particular index. So to that extent, it is more cost efficient. But at the same time, in a market like India, which is an emerging market where various businesses are still in nascent stages, a lot of industry sectors are yet to be listed, etc., there is always an ability that is there for portfolio managers, professional investment managers to outperform an index. So it's going to be a toss-up between active and passive. In one case, it's easy to understand, lower cost, but it will not give you any outperformance over the index. But in an active fund, while the cost could be slightly higher, there is a possibility of alpha generation. At least in history, many mutual funds have consistently outperformed the benchmark. So there is a likelihood that outperformance can be achieved even going forward. So these are two kinds of investing methods. Whatever is suitable for a particular investor, he can choose that. It's not about one versus the other. It's about having both of these and at what proportion, I would say. That would be a better approach rather than choosing one over the other.
Okay, fair point. Well, speaking of costs, that's an important point, Mr. Choksi, because every investor should know, right, how much he or she needs to pay for the service that is getting provided. So, of course, regulation has moved a lot on entry loads and exit loads on funds. Tell us today, as things stand, let's say for every 100 rupees that anyone is putting into any mutual fund, equity mutual fund, how much gets actually invested? And roughly, I mean, how much would go in terms of cost or management fees, etc.?
The cost and management fees basically now controlled by SEBI. That the TER slabs are there and it starts from 2.5%. and it goes down to, I guess, up to 1.5%. So at various different levels, as the size of the fund increases, the ability of the fund to charge is becoming slower and lower. So obviously, I think it is a function of the size of the fund that is there, even if the fund houses decide to charge full fees. So that is the cap which is being provided by SEBI.
Sure.
That's the maximum cost investor will pay.
Absolutely. So there you have it. All the basics of the product have been now discussed in detail. As we start winding up, Harsha, I want to sort of juxtapose the present environment on this conversation as well, because while, the academics, one understands that, yes, you need to go with your own goals, your own risk appetite, there is a tendency to look at the market right now and, wonder whether this is the time where mid-cap funds will generally do well. So should I be in mid-caps? Or if this is a time where a certain sector, let's say pharma, is doing very well, so should I simply invest in those kind of thematic funds? What would you say? If you look at today's environment and if you look at someone who has a medium risk appetite, how should he or she build their mutual fund, equity mutual fund portfolio?
Surabhi, there is a famous saying, I'm sure many of our investors have also heard about it, which is time in the market is more important than market timing. I think the calendar year 2020 reaffirmed this particular saying clearly. There was initial euphoria when we began calendar year 2020 because everything seemed like is progressing towards recovery, not just in India but globally as well. While COVID cases were going up, nobody thought that there will be such a big crisis, once in a lifetime kind of a crisis, which took markets down almost by 40-50% across geographies. And similarly, when we were facing the real panic in terms of COVID crisis, nobody would have expected that markets would give another 80-100% in the next couple of quarters. So essentially, timing the markets is very, very difficult, not just for first-time investors, but even for experts. So that's the reason why we say that disciplined long-term investing is better rather than trying to time the markets.
Okay, all right. I think that's great advice for everybody to keep in mind. That it's not the entry point or the exit point, it's how much time you're actually going to be invested. That will determine the amount of wealth that you ultimately end up making. All right, gentlemen, this has been a very fruitful conversation. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for joining in and shedding light on the basic concepts of equity mutual funds. With that, it's a wrap on this episode, but do keep it with us. You'll hear more interesting conversations on mutual funds in the Investmenter series.
Kotak Mutual Fund presents Investmenter in association with Network 18.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.